Well guys, it's an exciting day in the studio. We've got some new goodies from Thrustmaster that have just arrived that have been a long time coming as far as I'm concerned in the farming simulator world. In fact, they're sitting right there. So let's go grab those and start talking about this. So what we have here, guys, is the Simtask line from Thrustmaster, not from Farming Simulator, for Farming Simulator. You can see up on top, we got the Simtask line. First box on top, guys. This is a steering wheel mount. This is very interesting to me. I will see where this goes. Underneath that, we have the Simtask FARMSTICK. The Simtask FARMSTICK, that's right. It's a joystick for Farming Simulator, specifically made for Farming Simulator. You know what? This is pretty interesting stuff to me. So guys, I'm extremely excited to get my hands on this, to be perfectly honest. It's been about 10 years since we've seen a peripheral specifically designed around Farming Simulator. And Thrustmaster has come up with a couple of things. In fact, even on the back of the FARMSTICK box, you can see we have a number of peripherals that are kind of in the ecosystem here. And in fact, I was just on their website and they have a whole new category dedicated to Farming Simulator and trucking now. So not necessarily always racing or flight sim, now trucking and farming sim have their own dedicated category, which just grows my heart 3 sizes.
What's happening to me?
So to start this all off, guys, I think we should unbox all this stuff and see what we got inside. All right, so let's go get a place where we've got a little bit more room and let's go build the Simtask lineup of Farming Simulator equipment from Thrustmaster. So starting with the FARMSTICK, the Simtask FARMSTICK inside the box. Well, not a lot really. Pretty much the joystick is pretty much all we get. It's pretty straightforward. We'll put that aside. And inside now the steering wheel mount kit, guys. It looks like this is something we're going to have to build. So let's quickly build this up together and we'll see how difficult that is. So let's start by talking about the Simtask steering wheel kit from Thrustmaster that we just built. You know what? Relatively straightforward build that took about 15, maybe 20 minutes in total. After reading through the instructions briefly, you need about 6 bolts that I needed a tool to install with, plus the 2 extras to hold the wheel on. The wheels that this will work with, guys, there's only currently 2. And they're both from Thrustmaster, the T128 as well as the T248. Are the 2 wheels that this will work with. All other wheels it's not designed to work with from Thrustmaster. It is a no drill, just a simple 2-screw process, and you're good to go. Now, speaking of the T248, I've done a review on the channel of that one. Actually, go take a look at the video on that. Make sure we put a card or a link up at the top there. Click on that if you guys want to see that specific wheel. It is the bigger wheel, I think, of those 2. And yeah, it works great with Farming Simulator. I should also mention the wheel does come with a spinner knob itself for the wheel, and just fits right over top of the wheel very simply. It's the lowest piece of quality kit, I would say, of the whole thing. It's just a plastic knob, whereas the actual steering mount, guys, it is completely metal. It's a pretty heavy box. It's all metal construction, very sturdy once you get the thing built. So let's move on to the Simtask FARMSTICK for Farming Simulator. Now, this joystick itself is somewhat taken from the lineup of flight sim products from Thrustmaster, the joystick side of it, of course. Now, the buttons, however, and the button layout on it are completely custom and different. So up on the joystick part, you're going to find 4 rubberized buttons with Farming Simulator specific icons labeled on them, 2 toggle buttons with up and down functionality. You get a roller with push-in ability, and same with a D-pad up there with a push-in ability as well. Off the back side of the joystick, you're going to get 2 different buttons, one of which will actually switch modes and switch an LED up on the front of the joystick from white to amber. And that also doubles up the functionality of all the buttons up on the joystick. Now on the base of the FARMSTICK, you're going to find 6 buttons that flank each side of the base that are programmable. Also down the center, you're going to find 2 more that kind of go kitty corner, I guess, against the corners of the FARMSTICK. And then dead center, you're going to find another 4 buttons that are all programmable as well. Now, those buttons are labeled with modes for changing tractors, for attaching equipment, as well as starting and stopping equipment, I should say. The FARMSTICK is plug and play compatible and will remap a bunch of the controls in Farming Simulator. However, all of the buttons can be remapped as you see fit. I should mention, however, the FARMSTICK is only compatible with PC, Xbox and PlayStation users. So as for my thoughts on the Simtask line from Thrustmaster, let's start off with the steering kit itself. Very impressed with the actual build quality of this, guys. The amount of steel that has been put into this, it's an all steel construction. There's really no plastic except for the T-handles that go over the screws so you can manipulate the angle in which your steering wheel is. Now, essentially all it does is give you a tilt steering wheel. And I know that sounds fairly straightforward and simple, but it does dramatically change the illusion of playing Farming Simulator or American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Sim. Now, as for downsides, yes, there are 3 wing nuts on both sides, which are fairly robust, and it does allow for quite a large range of motion of the wheel itself, from raising it up to dropping it down. However, I would love to see this with more of a one lever action, where you could go from a tilt wheel, put it straight vertical, and then put it back down, basically, much like you would see in a modern day tractor. Now that actually brings me to my second point. The mounting position for the wheel has the wheel so it's mounted technically under your desk. And at my normal desk height, guys, this, when put to a straight flat position, which you would have for any kind of a racing simulation game, it puts it in a spot where I feel it's too low for me. I can lower my seat down. However, I don't feel it fits properly with my current setup that way. That's just something I've noticed. Maybe on some desks, or if you had a proper sim setup, maybe it will work a little bit better for you. But I feel that it dedicates my wheel more so for American Truck Sim, Euro Truck Sim, or possibly Farm Sim, and takes away a little bit from any kind of racing sim, as it wouldn't quite work as well for that. Now, moving on to the FARMSTICK itself. Once again, a decent quality joystick coming directly from their lineup of aviation products as well. So the actual motion and the feeling of the joystick is top notch. But what do we expect from Thrustmaster, let's be honest, and heads and tails way above anything else we've seen for a farming simulator game. The buttons are all very high quality. The switches are, the D-pad as well, or the toggles up on the top part of the stick, all very high quality. It's nice to have the extra functionality as well, with a work mode and a driving mode switch that can differentiate. Now, the one thing I would say would be the caveat to it all would be maybe the fact that it's just difficult to label and distinguish which of the multifunction buttons down on the bottom of the base. There's no room really to put any labels that you could read, unlike other products out there. So trying to memorize the control scheme becomes really the biggest hindrance to using it. So the more muscle memory you can get from using it more often will definitely help out. But that would be one of the things. And of course, it is a little bit less authentic maybe than some other products out there in the overall design. The way the buttons are sitting on each side of the joystick, of course, does not really correlate over really well to real life. However, they are functionable, and like I said, it's more about trying to remember what buttons do what functions and getting used to that, because memorizing it is really your only option. Now, the joystick as well does have a standard base on it that will work with any kind of a mount that you may find from a third-party supplier. Thrustmaster does have their own robust mount, once again, very similar to the steering kit, designed specifically for their joysticks. You could use that. That will mount it in a similar fashion to the wheel, like kind of underneath your desk. And it works fairly well once you get a little bit lower and not as high, I find, because especially if you're using the steering kit, it does push your wheel off the desk roughly 6 inches. So you're that much further away from the top of the desk, and if you have your joystick up on the far side, you're kind of reaching up for it. So this comes down to the question now on how much are you willing to pay for a peripheral for Farming Simulator? And the answers can vary quite widely. I mean, you can get into Farming Simulator with a keyboard and mouse on your PC. You can upgrade and possibly use a controller, which will maybe make things a little bit easier for you. Or you can start getting into these wheels and controllers and get into some pretty hefty pricing. However, I'm kind of happy to report that I'm kind of impressed with the pricing of both of these units. for different reasons. Let's start off with the steering kit. Now, yes, it doesn't actually do anything. It's not a peripheral in the sense of it's not a wheel. Let's go with that. It's not actually a wheel. However, the amount of steel in this product is pretty ridiculous, and what it does allow you to do to your wheel does change the way you play Farming Simulator in a way that I never thought I would enjoy as much as I enjoy using this. So the Simtask steering kit retails for $79.99 US. Relatively, I think, a fair price for the amount of steel you're good at getting in this product, guys. I know, like I said, it's not an actual peripheral, but it is a very high quality piece of item. Very high quality kit. Let's go with that. Let's talk about the Simtask FARMSTICK. And once again, if you're going to compare this to any of the current farming simulator accessories out there, the quality of this tends to beat them and hands down. There is a certain quality that Thrustmaster has in their joystick lineup that, of course, is not really rivaled by too many other companies, and especially anyone that's making a farm sim specific product at this point in time, at least. So there is that going forward. Now, the ergonomics of it, you could maybe question a little bit of that, but for the retail price of $99.99 USD, I don't think there's anything that's close to that in that price point that gives you the quality and as well the functionality that the FARMSTICK really gives you. So that also ranks really highly in my book between the two of those products, guys. You're looking at a fairly inexpensive kit with those. The more expensive part, of course, will be the wheel. So I personally think they are worth the price that they are asking for these products at this time. They seem to be a pretty good value for that. The wheels themselves that mount to the steering kit, you're looking at the T128, it retails for $199.99. The T248 retails for $399.99. Both wheels will work in conjunction with that steering kit as well as the FARMSTICK. Like I said, you can check out my review of the T248. I'll make sure I put that here at the end of the video so you can check that out. But both products are fantastic and will work fine with the steering kit, or designed to work with the steering kit, I should say, as well as the FARMSTICK. So if you want to know more, well, maybe drop into a live stream where we'll be using these products live, and you can ask me live what you think of certain products or certain features of them. I'd be happy to help you out and give you my thoughts on exactly where they exceed and where maybe they could update, or maybe they fall short a little bit on certain aspects. But like I said, I'm very happy with these products at this point. And I'm just so glad to see some more peripherals coming to Farming Simulator. So guys, if you found this video useful, I would appreciate if you slapped a like on the way out. And of course, if you're new and you want to see more Farming Simulator content, subscribe now so you don't miss out. And yeah, come on, hang out with one of our live streams. I'd love to see you guys. And like I said, the T248 wheel, check out the review now. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, folks.